Hello everyone and welcome to our Gem Pursuit. I'm your host, Matthew Weldon. I'm joined here by my trusty co-host, Alyce Ketcher. Hello, Alyce.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a brand new year.
This is going to be a very special year, and we're going to start off with a very special episode because we have recently visited the Natural History Museum in New York, and we saw some really special jewels and displays. Alyce, this is a really exciting one.
It's super exciting because this is the famous museum where Murph the Surf actually stole gemstones from. Now, it doesn't look anything like it used to. And also, the jewel hall itself has been redone. And you can tell.
I don't think he'd be getting away with them today. Let's put it that way.
No, but it is absolutely one of the most beautiful gem halls that I've ever been in. And that includes the Natural History Museum in London. So it is the Natural History Museum in New York City.
Amazing. Let's get straight into this. That's a ruby up there, isn't it?
So you can always tell with rubies from Burma if they're connected to the white calcite from the bottom, it automatically is an indicator that you're looking at ruby. And it's really nice because you get a really stark contrast between the two gemstones.
Yeah.
But you can see here that because of how valuable ruby is, especially natural ruby, it's the smallest specimen that they have available to show us. Whereas like the Amazonite is quite large, the lapis lazuli is very large. Obviously, any of the quartz crystals are also quite large as well.
The kunzite's a beautiful stone. Although I don't think they're skimping on value, I must say. Especially coming up with some of these ones. Now they also have the synthetic stones here.
I think it's important to help people kind of understand a little bit more about value and also the major differences between color and saturation that you get from natural and that you get from synthetic, because with synthetic usually it's always too good to be true. So you can see like the stars that are really pronounced on the ruby and sapphire synthetics because they've been created with the rutile inclusions to have very, very, very sharp stars, which is rare to see in something that's natural.
Yeah. I mean, they're super crisp.
And like, look at the power of the colors. They're extremely bright, vibrant, saturated, same from top to bottom, in contrast to the other side, which has a lot of variations in coloration, but also in clarity, depth, and color zoning.
And these ones are rare and unusual gems. So we've got a list. We've got Marquise pyrite.
Well, pyrite is actually like fool's gold.
Oh.
So you can see when it comes out like that, we tend to feel it, and it has a metallic skin as well. So when you look at the rough of gold and the rough of pyrite, it can fool people quite easily to thinking that it's gold because the heft is the same as well.
It looks just like it.
So that's why it got its name fool's gold.
Some really unusual ones here.
Andalusite we would have seen before in a few of our jewelry pieces because it has that beautiful pleochroism, which allows you to see different colors from different sides. So it's like brown to green to like brownish green, which is a cool feature of that particular stone. That's it there. When you turn it, you kind of see brown, and sometimes you see like a peachy color. And the rarest, you get to see a little bit of red in there as well.
I mean, these are all some really beautiful crystals, but I would imagine a lot of these, and some of these are softer crystals, which is why you mightn't see them. Well, these are rare and unusual stones, but also softer, so they mightn't necessarily go into the jewelry. 4 is scapolite. Wow. Moving on to the next one. Some organic materials and also some fluorites.
They've displayed a lot of fluorite in this museum because it has such a breadth of color range that not a lot of other gemstones have, and they go from pastels to very, very intense. So in this particular cabinet, it doesn't show all of the colors, but it's also a very soft gem. So, and it cleaves very easily. Like even there you can see the cleaving planes that if you hit that, it would literally crack open. So again, it's not something that we see a lot in jewelry.
And here then the next one, the organic materials, so your corals and your opals. We see some beautiful opals here, my God.
Yeah, so organics as well for our listeners. We've done a few different episodes on specific organics, but organic is really anything that was once alive or the product of something that is alive. Pearls come from mollusks, and then coral is a living thing. Amber comes from tree sap. Jet comes from fossilized wood. And then anything else that was once living will then be classified as an organic gem. So it's really nice as well. In this museum, they show you the rough form or its original state. And in this case, when you're looking at organics, is most of the time they're already in their original state, especially pearls. But it's nice to see the mollusks there to kind of help us remember that they actually were living things.
And of course, opal is a natural gem as well, a natural gem, of course, but an organic one because it's formed over years from organic material that has developed into opal. And you can see the opals here in their host rock. I mean, some of the colours there, you've got almost dark purple opal that's green and red, and then you've got kind of the white opal, and then you see how it just forms in the cracks in the rock and kind of seeps into the different veins. Really cool.
I love here, and on the opal it has just written down here, precious opal can scatter light into colours in the spectrum and display far more varied patterns than most other fine gems, which led Shakespeare to call opal the queen of gems in the play The Twelfth Night. So it has been alluring for many centuries.
Wow, and then this part here on topaz. So like we're in a room here that's like you've on three sides just got all the different types of gems, and it's divided up into, you know, rare and unusual, fluorites, apatites, organic gems, opals. And here this is topaz, and they have some absolutely enormous topaz crystals.
What's amazing here is we have the Brazilian princess. In the 1950s, a 75-pound, which is 34 kilos, light blue gem quality crystal was discovered in Brazil. And at the time, they didn't have the technology or the expertise to actually cut the gemstone. So, of course, it was kept, but it was put in storage until the time was right. 20 years it took for the stone to then be brought back out and then be fashioned into the largest cut gem in the world. And it weighs 4.3 kilos, 9.5 pounds. And it's right in front of us here. It's the largest topaz we've ever seen.
It is enormous. It's like I don't know, it's like...
Not even your head could put it on it.
And garnets is our next one here. And look at those demantoids, or demantoids as some people call them. They're so rare to get them in big crystals, and there's ones there that are 3 or 4 carats, and the different colorations as well.
Many people don't know that garnet comes in this variety of colours, and this is what's really interesting about this particular minerals section of the museum, is that we have the opportunity to see them all side by side, because we have seen every single one of these colours in jewellery before, but we don't always have the full collection in front of us to enjoy, and this is like such a treat to be able to see them all together in one.
Wow. Then moving on to the quartzes. So quartzes are one of the most abundant material in Earth. However, it's the gem quality and the color that you actually get from these large specimens. However, as we on the way in here, they had an example of a polished gem and then the rough crystal, and you get an absolute fraction of the rough crystal ends up in the polished gem. And here, there's amethysts, citrines, smoky quartzes, all sorts of cuts and shapes, rutile included quartz, and actually the Cairngorm Mountains in Scotland is actually where a variety of yellow and brown to orangey brown gem quality quartzes named after the Cairngorm Mountains of the Scottish Highlands are found.
We've come across quite a lot of these quartzes from Scottish jewels from the Victorian period,
Yes.
made super popular by Queen Victoria. So you can get them in silver with a lot of different kind of banded agates surrounding the actual citrine, and they're a really wonderful way to have a souvenir from the actual place. That's why Queen Victoria used to wear it, because it would remind her of her time that she spent in the Highlands.
She loves Scotland. Actually, I've never seen this before. A pinwheel in amethyst. So it says here that a typical quartz crystal is a six-sided prism topped with a six-sided pyramid. Alternating pyramid faces have different surface properties, and as a result, two faces next to each other can display different colors. The result is a three-bladed pinwheel effect in some amethysts, as shown in the photograph with alternating sections labeled A and B,
You can actually
and the
see
middle
it.
one. Yeah, it looks like a suite with these kind of different coloured tranches in it.
In the trade, we would call that windowing, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
We don't usually even patterns of windowing we don't prefer to see, but if it's done in a tasteful manner that has a design element to it, it obviously can improve the value of the gemstone.
I'm pretty sure that one there would definitely improve it. Rubies. Oh yeah, there's some really good rubies. Moving on to our corundum.
The way that I like to explain ruby as the rough crystal is it looks like a marbled slab of meat.
Yeah, it does actually.
So like really red when you cut into like a steak before it's cooked, obviously. You can see like all of the graining and the patterning. It looks very similar to that, and I'm really glad that they've put that on display here.
And the emerald crystals next to it. One of these crystals is the Patricia Emerald, found in 1920. The largest gem quality emerald discovered
In the
at the
Chivor.
Chivor mine in Colombia, famous for its crystal perfection, vibrant color, and large size, 632 carats. It's remarkable for having been preserved in its original state and not cut into gems. That is actually amazing. And there it is there, and you can see it. And that would be
So green. I mean,
but it's nice there. They have the rough crystal. They've also got the emeralds embedded in the host rock, and above that they've got some carved emeralds, and then they've actually got a couple of pieces of jewelry, so you can actually see the full.
yeah, but like, look at that bottle green. Like, imagine like sifting through like dirt, black rock usually, and finding a massive green gem like that. It would just literally poke your eyeball.
Wow. Sapphires, all colors except red, and well,
Yeah,
that's because it's just red.
it's red, it's a
Sapphire is
ruby.
ruby. But these are every color here in the rainbow. There's an amazing big orange sapphire in the middle there. That is beautiful. And can you actually see the pink one beside it? Can you see the kind of hazy kind of inclusions in it? Definitely natural, untreated. That's a very valuable sapphire, though.
I would say the one that they're missing here is a large padparacha. We've got a few smaller ones that would probably be classed as padparachas, but like I was kind of hoping that we'd see a really fabulous example of the paparacha, because the paparacha has, of course, the bicolor. It needs to have pink and orange present in it.
I know what you're going to say here, Alyce, and I agree with you. I looked at that and I thought orange sapphire.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't think paparacha. There is one here, and it says it's paparacha. I mean, say from this angle, it's a bit more peachy, but
I mean,
I would
like
definitely call that orange.
I would prefer to see it out in natural light because I want to see the pink. Because remember, paparacha is the Sinhalese word for lotus flower. And a lotus flower, the reason why they're called paparacha is because a lotus flower has that gradient of color from going from kind of peach or even like a yellowish peachy color to a pink. And I can't see pink.
Well,
there.
we both said that. I said, look at that amazing orange sapphire, and then you said you'd love to see a paparacha. It says here that it actually is classed as a paparacha, but maybe in natural light it has a different tone. But certainly to me, it looks more orangey, and it doesn't have enough of that peachy, pinkish color.
At 100 carats, it'd be crazy.
Oh, what's this one? Oh, what are these colorless stones? Oh, these are diamonds, right?
Oh my gosh, the Armstrong diamond.
Wow, look at those rose cuts.
And the button light.
I mean, these are probably pieces that we could have in our collection. They'd be nice pieces.
So this one here on the side is the Lalsbury diamond necklace. It has over 100 diamonds. And what kind of cuts can you see in it, Matthew?
I can see rose cuts. I can see
Tick.
I can see pear shapes.
What's another word?
Pendulock.
Yes. Tick.
I can see rounds.
Tick.
I can see
There's only one more left.
cushion cut.
No. But it's a bit of a trick question.
Table cut.
Brilliant cut.
Brilliant cut. Ah, well, that's.
And who do you think this is made by? It looks like a bib, by the way.
It looks like a
everybody.
bib made by Mario Bucciolati. No, it looks Indian to me. That's what I really would think.
And who went to India quite often?
Cartier.
Yes.
Oh, that's Cartier, is it? Yeah.
It is.
Is it, yeah? Wow. That's Cartier, is it?
It is, yeah.
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that by looking.
And what's this necklace with all the briolets? Look at the briolets.
That one is is that
It's a modern piece. So you can see the difference between something that's kind of like ancient Indian inspired to something that is, I'd say, inspired by that, and that was created in 2001.
Yeah, well, the shape is somewhat similar, but obviously very different in its execution. So, wow, and then these ones. Oh, actually, what is with that diamond there? That one looks like it's sawn in half. Wow, look at that. So there's like a diamond here that actually has been kind of cut in half, and it's still embedded in the host rock, which I presume is kimberlite.
This one here over here is the one that's sawn. This one here is showing the rough
that's on,
inside the kimberlite. And although, let's talk about this one here, Matthew, this quite large diamond, which still looks quite small. How many carats do you reckon that is?
As it is, it's probably like...
And remember, it's an octahedra, so it's a
Both sides.
double-sided pyramid on side of a double-sided pyramid. So that's only half of what you're seeing.
I'd say this rough crystal, which is in the kimberlite, and kimberlite is the rock where you will find diamonds, if they're in South Africa anyway. It looks like it's 12 to 14 carats.
You might want to double it.
Really? 28, is it?
25.
25. Wow. Oh, it does go back a lot, that side.
But
like
it's so hard to gauge in an octahedra. That's the problem. Do you know what I mean? But if you were to look at it as a diamond that's cut the way that we see it every day, we would
think that, but we can't really see the girdle of that one, so or the meeting point. The tourmalines.
actually
Wow, look at that
we
one.
saw quite a lot of watermelon tourmaline today in the show in New York, because we're here in New York at the moment, and we actually sold a piece of watermelon tourmaline today, a pair of earrings. But explain for the listeners what watermelon tourmaline is, Matthew.
Well, I suppose as we look at the tourmaline section here, you can see that the tourmaline crystals, some of them are green at the bottom, and they kind of go almost a little bit white in the middle, are colourless, and then red at the top. Now, they're all the one crystal, but some people can polish them, and the way that it looks is it has the green layer on the outside, a white layer, and then red in the middle, like a watermelon, I guess. And
it doesn't taste like it.
Doesn't taste like it though, and costs you a bit more. But it's when they polish it like that with crystals like we're looking at here, they call it watermelon tourmaline. But you can also get the green and the red separately, of course. A green is very beautiful. Some of these green tourmalines we're looking here are really electric.
But also the blue, the very, very vibrant blue. This is Paraiba.
Wow.
And the most prized tourmaline of all.
Yes. Then we've got spinels, peridots. Wow, the peridots are beautiful.
Peridots are beautiful. Olive green. I would have liked to see, like, they've got one example of brown, but I would have liked to see a little bit more of their brown hues that you can get in peridot, because you can get kind of darker greens in it as well.
And as we came across in some previous episodes, at certain times in history, any greenstone was called emeralds. And it was actually believed that some of Cleopatra's emerald collection, she had a famous emerald collection, was actually peridots. And actually, Zabagard, a tiny forbidding island in the Red Sea, about 30 miles from the Egyptian port of Ras Banas, was mined for peridots for about 2,000 years. Its gems were celebrated in ancient Greece and Roman and also Arabic texts. The great dynasties of Egypt treasured peridots and closely guarded the mines here at Zabagad. Now, interestingly enough, peridot-rich Zabagad, as it says, had extremely harsh desert conditions, shark-infested waters, and treacherous reefs. So you can imagine going out there at that time. I mean, you were really doing everything you could to bring back these gems. That must be aquamarine now next.
We're looking at the beryl section now, and there's a few rough crystals, but there is also a very notable oval cut aquamarine in the center, and it's the largest one that they have in the cabinet. Now, Matthew, we love playing the guessing game today, so how big is that?
I would say that stone there is going to be about 300 carats, I would say.
Okay, I'm going to guess. I don't know either.
Don't go to like 301 or something like that.
But it actually looks a little bit thinner than... It's not a very deep stone, but it's very flat and large. I'm going to go with 580 carats.
And the answer is 737.
Oh, I win.
God. That is surprising though, 700. But it just shows you that a carat is a fifth of a gram. So like this is a big stone.
But it actually shows you as well. So if we look at the aquamarines there, this one here is very large, but the depth of it isn't as deep as the one next to it, which is a cushion-shaped mixed cut. And the color is a lot deeper because the actual stone is deeper. So this makes all the difference with color with aquamarines. It's really important to view the stone in person, number one. Number two, if you can't view the stone in person, have videos done in natural daylight, and always view the stone from the side because you'll be able to see what the depth looks like.
Yeah, that one does have, for me, if that was a ring or a pendant, it'd be that one. And this here, there's a big rough aquamarine crystal here.
Literally looks like waves in the sea. Or, you know, in Iceland, how they have those ice blocks that are on the shore and they call it Diamond Beach. They've got these like big cubes of like ice that go up on the black shores of Iceland. It looks like that.
Well, this unpolished crystal here is 5.7 kilos, 26,300 carats, and it was part of a much bigger crystal, but this is what's left of it unpolished. It looks like blue jelly. Chrysoberyl. Wow. So that's Alexandrite there. Wow. So yeah, so crystal beryl is the gemstone that we're looking at now, with a hardness of 8.5. So actually, this is a great stone for engagement rings or for everyday wear. Crystal beryl, you don't come across it very often, but if you have a color change crystal beryl, it is an alexandrite. Alexandrite is a variety of crystal beryl discovered in 1830 in a Russian emerald mine on the 12th birthday of the Tsar's oldest son, Alexander, for whom it was named. And he became Tsar Alexander II in 1855.
And here we have a 12.92 carat alexandrite. And it's just such a pity that they don't have a flicking light going from incandescent to daylight, because I can see the green with flints of red on the side. But if we could just see it in incandescent light, we could see the beautiful color change. And that's really what makes this so valuable.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just thinking of value there, actually, Alyce. And alexandrites for smaller crystals can be like 15 to 30,000 a carat, depending on how good the color change is. But for ones of that size, it's got an exponential number, like much bigger multiple.
And
of
this
that.
one's also from Sri Lanka, so we have a alexandrite in our collection at the moment,
We do.
which is also a Sri Lankan alexandrite, but it's 3 carats,
Yes.
and this is 12. So
And our one is a big one.
yeah.
Yeah. And actually, alexandrite is so rare. In all the time that I've at the shop now, and a lot of time even and Gem Pursuit timeline, we only ever had one offer to us.
Yes.
One of we have some tiny ones, but never a big one like that. So, wow, and they have a whole mix of different lapises, malachites, agates, dendritic agate, bloodstone there. That's really cool. Bloodstone, cat's eyes.
Tiger's eye, malachite.
They have the zodiac calendar for your gemstone based on your zodiac sign.
We have lapis lazuli, turquoise, jades. And here they call them ornamental gems, but in terms of like ornamental gems, I think if we look at Fabergé, they're one of the greatest kind of examples of like the intrinsic value of the gemstone kind of goes out of the window once they've actually created something out of it, like the carved work that
Yes.
The carved animals that he did, and also the people that he did in specific gemstones.
It was often nephrite, I think he like.
Nephrite. He also used rhodochrosite. He used bloodstone. He used a number of different what is considered ornamental gems, but now those particular figurines go for thousands and thousands, and sometimes millions.
I mean, that's like, valuing a painting based on how much the pigment is worth. That's not how it works. So, well, that opal pendant's beautiful. Oh, there's a sapphire cluster. That's a beautiful sapphire cluster. Look at that one.
It's a Tiffany piece there, the opal. And of course, if you look at it, you can see the style of the creator. Very much Louis Comfort Tiffany, who also loved glass work. Very, very flamboyant designs he used to create, and the opals in this are magnificent. The play of color, rich with red. We've got blues and greens, but I can also see purple in there as well.
Do you know, it almost makes me sad, at least, that this jewelry isn't being worn. I know it's got to be preserved. If it was on the open market, it wouldn't be. And, what's really exciting about what really, for me, is one thing that, like gets me out of bed in the morning. There's lots of things that do that, right? But one in particular is like what is never been discovered. Like what piece is going to come in, you go, it's a Louis Comfort Tiffany, or it's just a beautiful piece of antique jewelry that people haven't seen in 100 years.
Well, you can see there's a en tremblant piece in there.
Please stop hitting the glass, please.
See, it's moving.
Yeah, I can see that. So you'll be moving our way to the local precinct if you're not careful.
En tremblant, 18th century.
That was an absolute roller coaster of gemstones. Pretty much everyone that we can almost think of. And, you know, anyone who is in the area, in the city, I couldn't recommend it enough to visit the Gem Hall in the Natural History Museum in New York. But look, with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for joining us in this new year with Gem Pursuit. We've got some super exciting plans. We're looking at the calendar already. It is going to be jam-packed, so make sure you subscribe to Gem Pursuit to get updates from all the latest episodes. And if you have any questions or feedback, we'd love to hear from you at experts@courtville.ie or via any of our social media platforms. This episode was produced by Ross Hannon of Tape Deck, with project management and research by Veronique Gauguin. And of course, it just wouldn't be Gem Pursuit without my trusty co-host, Alyce Ketcher. Alyce, thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthew. And next time I see you, we'll be live in Miami.
Bring it on. Thank you very much, everyone. See you soon.